Well, we're back on the sink today, working on putting the plumbing back together. Okay, so the water lines back here, you got the gate valves. Well, I'm not going to shut the whole system down just to replace some gate valves. So the gate valves are working, but for emergency purposes, you need something a little bit more user-friendly. These are shark bites. I really don't care for them, but they're really good on stuff like this. So it just, you slide it right down on the copper tube and then connect, you're done. No big deal. We got the first one on. So we'll go ahead and put the second one on real quick. I'll show you how easy it is to connect these water lines, or the shut-off valves. So like I said, it's got the little insert there. This is really for PVC, or for like PEX, that white insert, but I usually just leave it in there. Just gotta make sure it's inside the water line, and then you just push until it clicks, or until you can't push any further, and then you can shut your turn your water back on, and that's it on those. So all you gotta do on this, just spin this off, take it off real quick, and get your cold line and reconnect. We got the water lines connected, got them tightened up. This is why I don't like shark bites. You know, it's because this is not stationary. It'll actually move around. The good part about it is, you get tight spots, you can move around, you know, blah, 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 whatever. But when you're like trying to put a bathroom faucet in, like a shower faucet, you can't use these because your shower faucet is not stationary. Water lines make it nice and tight stationary. Anyways, let's get on the string. So, because I don't have my property where I've got a bunch of parts where I can go big, this is a separate property, so I can only purchase parts for this property. So what I did was I went ahead and, this is the P-trap, this is the cross pipe for connecting. Let me see right there's a picture. It's just to connect the two sinks together, and then two drop pipes to connect to the sink, strainers, a insert, and a couple of couplings. So, and then of course PVC glue. But I also bought a hard pipe, a hard PVC or P-trap. So what I'm going to attempt to do first is I'm going to take all of it apart and see if my sink strainers match up. If they do, then I can do some modifications a little bit. But let's go ahead and get this tore apart, see if the strainers match up. Alright, so what we got is this side over here is off. It's not straight up and down on the pipe. It's actually off by about a ½ inch. This one is connected, but you can see the P-trap is not even close to lining up. I can't turn this to get it to line up, so what we're going to have to do is just redo it all. That's the reason why I bought all that new sink setup. So what we'll do is we'll cut it back here. I've got enough room here that I can install this. This is just a, what is that, 30? I think it's a 30. I think it's a 30-degree turn, but that will get me over just enough to install the new P-trap. But until, we'll go ahead and disconnect this, pull this off, see what we got to work with, get rid of all this. What I got lucky with on this, I didn't think about it until I just started now taking it apart, is that this part actually unscrewed 1.5 inches. So a coupling, or one of your rings, will screw right on there. Now why does that make a big difference? I'll show you. This is why. On your basic P-trap, this will go right in there. All we got to do is just clean up the hole a little bit. It'll go in there. I'll be able to reconnect. I was wrong. My bad. This is this 1.5 inches. That's 1.5 inches copper, but because of the reduced, it's not going to let me go in there. It's basically, yeah, you know what? That's tight. I don't think I'm going to be able to get, ooh, check that out. Wow, look at this. I just found something new. I thought that maybe it had a water leak or something back in there from the old faucet or so. But look at this. Let me see if I can get it to focus on there. I use my screwdriver. Pipe's busted. It's old copper. That is split open. That's why it's got wall damage. Let me get under there. Shit. It's all corroded out. So, man, that just changed a whole lot of stuff. Oh, great. So what we'll do is we'll cut this copper, okay? And because this is 1.5" copper, 1.5" PVC is not going to go inside of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to put a rubber coupling on here. And then now I can turn and bring basically the same setup, but now it's going to be PVC. So I'll put a 90 on it, just like this, but I'm going to make it out PVC. That way I can bring it straight out and I can put my P-trap in it, and it'll be more, it'll be easier to work with. So, good times, man. That's why I say you never know what you're getting into. Now see, it's not wet. Okay? So when I saw that the first day, I just assumed that it may have been some water line leaking from the old sink, because the sink was pretty bad. But we'll get in there and fix that. All right. So I got it cut out, and I opened up the hole a little bit. So see, like a fitting like this is just a slip in. This is a 90 that slips in like for the P-trap, okay? But this is, the exterior is really super close to being the same size, right? Versus if I got a 90 that's double-ended like this, see, it's going to slip in. Then I've got to get a reducer, or I've got to put a piece of PVC on inside of that, and then go to PVC. It's the same thing. So what I'll do on this is, because it is a tight fit, is I'll use this style of 90 on there, and then I'll get a rubber coupling to connect the two. I always get the ones with the metal cage on it. So we'll go from there. Then it'll just be PVC out with the P-trap. Actually, that works out great, because I can put this on there, okay, and then I can use this end, hold on, just to help you get a visual on this. This pipe right here is from the sink, the first pan, okay? Now I'm on that, but see, I'm still too far away. So I'll get a 90, regular 90 like this, add a piece of pipe, and put an end on it. Actually, I got one right there. And I got a piece of pipe on right here. Let me see what I got. Okay, so this is just a mock-up. I went ahead and I haven't shortened any of this yet. This is just a mock-up. Got the crossover, T-fit, drop down, P-trap, extension tube. This extension tube goes all the way back, right? So what I'm going to do, is something like this. So this is my threaded end. I'm going to get this over out of my way. See, that slide right on there, right? Well, I'm also not quite, well, pretty close to that on. Well, what do you know? Except that's the wrong end. So let me see. Let me get the other one. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. So now we got this one. Not quite long enough. I'm only off by, not very much at all. It's always that I'm only off. I need it a little longer, right? So what I'll do is like I said, I'll put this on, which is it's got that sleeve on it. I'll put this on there with a coupling, and I'll add a piece of pipe to this, and then I'll be able to put this on anywhere I want. So this slides on there, and it goes together like that. Of course, you know there's a nut that goes there with a bushing. So yeah, this will work out perfectly. The only thing I need is a 1.5 inch coupling. So go to parts place, pick that up real quick. That way I can wrap this up and I'll be done with it. Well, we're at the parts place, like always. So this is what I prefer to get. It's the rubber, but it has a steel band. That's what I prefer to get. It makes it more stationary, more rigid. But like always, I ain't got nothing. We just have to get us a regular 1.5 inch coupling. I mean, yeah, it'll work, but you know, I only want to do it once. Yeah, it is what it is. So I got it. Got the coupling on. All I gotta do is add a piece of pipe to this now, and we'll go from there. So I made me a shorter piece of pipe. Goes right in there, and then this will go right in the hose. All right. So what I did was a PVC cleaner, glue, and I like that because it's a little flexible. You know, I can move it around just a little bit. So all we gotta do is get this in there, and then I have to adjust all the pipe fittings, you know, to bring it up high enough. I try to keep each up as high as I can because a little dirty in that pipe. See, I can stick it all the way in there if I have to. I can turn the bottom around. So we just put us a ring on it. Let's see if I can find a ring. A ring on it, baby. PVCs are real good. I gotta find a gasket real quick. Hold on. Alright, so I got my ring on it and my nut. Slide it in there. It doesn't matter, metal or plastic, it doesn't matter. It's just what I had with me. What was laying there. So I'm gonna tighten up. Okay. Now all I have to do is just adjust everything else. I can move this wherever I want. So, and it's dead on. So see, you can see. I like to have my drain just slightly pitched back. So I need to take. That's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I need to take that out of these two. That way I can move the drain up. So we'll measure that real quick. In order to get that drain up, I need get that out of the way. Get that mushroom. I need I'd say I'd go 2 inches. 2 inches. That mushroom will be right in there. Okay. So we'll take this part that off, cut 2 inches off of each one, and everything will be good to go. Okay, so we got it all back together. Screw it in there. I always want to make sure you got your drain. You know, you don't want to tip this way. You want it always tipping towards the drain. Okay, so P-trap's back in. I got these cut down. Both of these cut down, and you always want to make sure that when you're, it's kind of hard to see with this video camera, but my pipe is just so slightly leaned this way. Okay, the reason why is because you don't want water standing in that. The more water you have standing in that, the more chance you're gonna have backups. Because this right here is this one here is a nice one because it's open, so it lets the water flow freely without any resistance. So what we'll do now is we will turn the water on and we'll give her a test. Give her a test real quick. I'm gonna turn all my valves back on. Now here's where you run into problems with these old gate valves, is that they have a rubber sheet in there, and they have packing in there. So when you crank them down hard and then turn them back on, you'll normally get a drip. I'll show you. You'll normally get a drip. See how it's got green around there? That's where water's been getting on it. But this right here, this nut, can be tightened up. So if I open this up and I start getting a drip, see like that right there? I just got a drip. So we'll monitor it here for a minute. Normally you can just take a pair of pliers. Channel locks are better, but you can just so slight, just barely tighten it up. Sometimes it drips out really bad, and if you crank it all the way out real quick and tighten it all the way out, it'll also stop the leak. So let's go ahead and turn the water on. Okay, now I'm going to give her a good test. Remember, I have all those strainers, new strainers in here. So let's give her a shot. You also, usually, if you remember, always take, whenever you do new plumbing like this, always take your aerator off. See that little bitty hole? You'll plug that bad boy. So, black water. Okay, so she's running good, so let's go ahead and put the aerator back on it. The aerator just going to keep water from bouncing all over the place, get all over my head. So, let's turn on hot water. Let's check, make sure we ain't got no leaks. Everything looks like it's flowing good. I think I tightened everything up. This is hot water. So right now we're going to be testing for leaks. See if we get a dripper somewhere. See anything. Let's test this. Okay. Not getting hot yet. Of course, this building here is on, the hot water comes from a big 200-gallon hot water tank in the maintenance shop or maintenance room, which is quite a long ways away. The only thing I could see is if they had a pump on it to circulate the water, but they don't. So, anyways, let's just let it run. I'll let that run on hot for a little bit and see if we get any drips. And this is also, once you get the hot water running, this is also when you want to double check those fittings, your sink strainers. So we'll just let it run for a little bit. I can get the excess. This is excess that's squeezed out. Not a big deal. But we'll let this water get hot and we'll check it out. Alright, she's been running for about 10 minutes. That water's still not getting hot, but I do have a drip right here. Right there on that packing nut. Like I say, you can't just throw this stuff together and run. You gotta wait it out. So, the bad valve. Let's see if I can't, I'll get my big wrench on it, see if we can't take it off. Because you can take these off while there's water running in there. So, we'll take it apart pretty quick. So the water's starting to get hot. Like I said, even though I got these tight when it was out of underneath the sink, or not installed, look how easy that is turning. Real easy. So, like I said, the plumber's putty will get soft. Just give it a little bit of torque, not big danger. Just this side right now, because the water's only running on this side. I moved the water over on the other side. That pipe's starting to get a little warm, so we'll let it run over here for about 5-10 minutes and see if it loosens that plumber's putty up. You always want to double check everything. We'll give it a shot. Alright, so I don't have any leaks, but what you will have, just take a regular screwdriver. See the putty around there? You can just take a regular screwdriver, run it around, a flathead, run it around there to get that excess off of there. That way you don't have a big, I've seen guys run knives around there. It's not a big deal. You're not digging it out. You want to get it smooth with the side. So I got that one in there pretty good. See this one. Just run around there. And this way you can also check, once you've done this, you can also check to make sure that you're square in the hole. I know that sounds funny, square in the hole. But, so for this one, this is, got the sinks installed, drains done. And we're good to go on this. There's the piece of quarter round. You know, see how it looks? It's so much nicer than big old nasty piece of caulk down through there, because that is quite a bit of a gap. So what I'll do on this is I'll put a coat of paint on it before I install it, and then paint down there, and we should be good to go. Put the edge cap on it, and the only thing I got left on this is one of the drawers is missing the roller. I gotta fix that, but that's about it for that. And then in the bathroom, of course, I just installed that weird freaking toilet. We have to take the toilet apart, get it out of here, and then we gotta get that caulk out of there. I'll show you how I do that. So.